Hey everyone, welcome back again. So last week I've done a video explaining my tremolo picking technique, and I mentioned that I play wrist up, meaning that I do not rest my arm on the bridge or on the guitar when playing in tremolo picking style. I've had since then I've had a discussion in the comments of that video with a person who was saying that was asking rather how I go about muting the strings that I'm not playing, since I'm not resting my hand on the guitar. I thought that was a very interesting point, and we had an interesting discussion which you can go and read in the comments of the video if you are interested. So today I decided that I would do a little update on that video, or rather a follow-up video, to show you how I mute the strings without using my right hand. I apologize for the poor audio quality this time. I'm using my practice amp and a distortion pedal, and I'm not plugged into my audio interface. So basically what I do to mute the strings is that I do left hand muting. Most of the strings that you're not playing, you can mute them with your index finger by using the fleshy part of the finger and just slightly touching the strings you're not playing, or all the strings really, if you're playing with other fingers in that moment. This works especially well if you're playing on the low E string or on the A string. When you're playing on the low E string, you just touch all the other strings like this, and this is going to mute them, and so you're gonna just play the note that you're fretting. When you're playing on the A string, the technique is a little bit different. You want to do the same thing with the higher strings, and with the low E, you want to touch it with the tip of your index finger. So you want to play the A string not with the tip of the finger. You want to go a little bit in this area of your finger and fret the note like this, like this here. And the low string is going to be touched by the tip of your index finger, and therefore is going to get muted, like this. If you do this properly, and you use enough of your finger to touch the low string, you should not get any harmonics, which the person that I discussed with was complaining about. I also need to mention that some areas of the neck are more prone to generating harmonics when you touch the strings. Like around the 5th or 7th fret is a lot easier to get harmonics compared to the extremities of the neck, so to speak, so going towards lower notes. Another solution is to move your hand the least possible. So when you're fretting notes here, and you start fretting notes with your other fingers, you should leave the index finger in place and use it to just touch all the strings. In this way you will not you will keep the strings muted, and you will not have ringing sound effects. If you combine this and start slowly and with practice, you will not need any right hand muting whatsoever. I never use right hand muting when I play tremolo picking riffs. I do use it when I play guitar solos, but that's another technique entirely. So if you train your index finger to mute as much as possible and move your hand the least possible, then you will surely have a good foundation to build your muting with your left hand. This is another example that you can look at. Another thing that you need to do is to practice in order to become very accurate with your picking. In other words, you should pick only and exactly the notes that you're supposed to play. If you're picking exactly those notes and are very consistent and very accurate, even if the other strings are ringing slightly, will not be very easy to hear that, because the notes that you're playing will prevail over the slight ringing of the other notes. Another thing, in some instances, you might be able to use your thumb to mute the low strings when you're playing on the higher notes. This is not something that you can do all the time, and it really depends on how you hold your hand and what's your usual hand position is when you play the guitar. But it's in some cases it is possible to do, and I'll give you an example right now. And this is all for today's video. I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions, as usual, leave them down in the comments. See you next time.